Hello there, Negar. My name's Andrew, and I work here at IELTSpodcast.com with Ben and the others. What we tend to do with these single essay corrections is read over them sentence by sentence and give you as much guidance and advice as we can towards achieving high results in these Task 2 responses. Of course, if you would like to make significant improvements to your academic writing, it requires repeated corrections over time. Only then can you train yourself to spot your own mistakes and stop making them in future. But for now, let's have a read through and see what we can do for you. So firstly, I wouldn't use whether and while in the same sentence in this manner, because here we've said there are some controversial arguments over whether global marketing is considered invasive, and then we've said while others believe. So what we should be saying, because we've referred to controversial arguments, I think we should say over whether global marketing is considered invasive or whether it benefits countries. What we want to do really with our introductory sentence is to summarize briefly the entire topic of the essay and then give an opinion next. Also, in academic writing, it's good, or it's a primary concern to use as few words as possible to express a lot of information. So this is having a high information density. It's precise language, essentially. Having precision is having a lot of information in very few words, and it's sort of the soul of academic writing. So always try to express your ideas in the shortest sentences possible. This will sometimes result in fairly long sentences because the idea will be complex, but we should always try to use as few words as possible. So I would just say, it is a contentious issue as to whether global marketing is necessary or invasive. I personally believe that. So there we have considered the two arguments. Essentially, we only have to consider them briefly here, essentially show that we understand what the question is asking. So consider the arguments briefly here. Then, when we expand our arguments, the two that we've chosen, the things that we're going to consider, then we fully expand. So these body paragraphs should be around 4 sentences where we introduce the idea, we expand the idea with our own thoughts or an opinion, or the point, essentially, of the paragraph. We then use an example from the real world to support that statement. So whenever we want to say something of our own opinion, we must show our reasoning. We must say, I think this because of this. This here has shown me that this is true. It's expanding and supporting your ideas is absolutely essential in every paragraph. Introduce the idea, expand into it, support, justify your statement, and then summarize at the end with thus, therefore, or hence. So I suspect that you have stuck roughly to that structure. One thing I do see is things like this. In academic essays, given that we're trying to use as few words as possible, there are some really good cohesive words to use at the beginnings of sentences. Things like furthermore, or moreover, or additionally. One word that replaces things like this. So this is far too much for academic writing and should be replaced by a single word. But let's have a see about the flow of your argument. Some people are of the opinion that, so this comma here is not necessary, but some people are of the opinion that international marketing is increasing considerably, which may affect the host countries. So this would be affect, A-F-F-E-C, to affect something, to change it, to affect. An effect is the thing that is affecting something. Slightly complicated, I know. See, this again, this could just be reduced to This is likely due to local companies becoming bankrupt or risking bankruptcy due to high competition in the global marketplace. We want to distinguish, don't we, which marketplace we're speaking about. So the introduction of global marketing, of globalization, it removes the choice of the local producer. So what we have is a situation where the local producer is forced to compete on the international stage, in international markets, which, you are correct, they may not be prepared for. They may not want to do it. It is simply removing their choice, which we consider to be bad, generally. But that idea can be expressed much more succinctly. Also, we don't need this apostrophe here. So I really like your idea in this paragraph, but we need to be more precise. So things like, if you're talking about cultural erosion as a result of local producers closing down, as a result of their choices being removed since international marketing has grown. So those 4 sentences would be an excellent flow of an idea. International marketing has increased. This forces local companies to compete in the international marketplace. Some companies, for example, may not be prepared for this and may fail almost immediately. The loss of local production gives rise to the effect of cultural erosion. So we've gone from the idea that international marketing is increasing straight down to cultural erosion, and that's bad. And that's an excellent flow. So let's have a look down here quickly. I would say, on the other hand, some believe that international marketing, worldwide marketing, global marketing, globalization, there's lots of words we can use to describe this, has more advantages than disadvantages. There is no doubt that the world is becoming a small village due to technology improvement. So this is what we would refer to as a metaphor, because the world is not actually becoming a small village. The world is not literally becoming a small village. And in academic writing, we never use metaphor. We only speak literally. We must describe as truthfully as possible. So we need to get down to the root of this idea. Instead of talking in imagery or in metaphor, we need to describe exactly the effect that you're talking about. So essentially, you're talking about increased travel and increased communication and increased speed of communication. All of these things that mean that people feel closer together. But what are those things? That's what we need to be getting down to. Why do people feel that way? In academic writing, we tend not to care how people feel. We want to know why they feel that way. What has happened? I don't want to know what people think or feel about it. I want to know exactly what happened. I would have gone in with this. I would have started with advantages and said that international marketing could bring access to information and education, using maybe the internet as an example, whereby any person in the world now really can have immediate access to any information they want, almost for free, and that has serious consequences. So this should be the focus of this paragraph, is what I'm saying. It shouldn't be furthermore stuck on at the end. This should be how this paragraph is built. So move this up here and then write for that. In conclusion, I would just say, considering both views, I strongly believe that international marketing and business should be free to compete internationally as I believe it will positively contribute to the socio-economic progress of all involved. All involved. That refers to everybody involved in the situation. The socio-economic progress of all involved would be great. So I've given you sort of as many major pointers as I can for things like flow, task and achievement, and speaking with variety and brevity. When we use very few words, we call that brevity. But if you would like to continue receiving corrections in this way, where I essentially point out all of your mistakes, then you can subscribe to the course, the link to which is in the email I've sent you. Until then, Negar, have a wonderful day, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye bye now.